Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. We are doing our Paycheck 2 closeout and Paycheck 3 setup. So I'm going to pull these two pages out. Okay, I have my pages out. I pulled a few pages out to go over a few things, but we're doing Paycheck 2 and Paycheck 3. Behind them, I have transaction logs. So I'm just going to put those off to the side for right now, and I'll show you those in a little bit. But yeah, we are going to close out Paycheck 2, set up Paycheck 3. I have the pending deposit for tomorrow, and yeah, we are looking pretty good. I'm really excited. We are getting travel reimbursements back for my husband's income, and I think 1 day of overtime that I didn't realize was part of this pay period. And I'm looking for my notes on where that is. Where is that? Found it. Okay. All right, found my note. I had to look all over my desk for it. It's on a sticky off to the side, and I got it buried. I didn't mean to do that. So here we go. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and close this out. Obviously, the totals did not change, and that's okay. I didn't expect them to. Thankfully, there was no, glad for random deposits and random income, but man, sometimes it just messes with the budget so much. You're just like, can we wait on that for a minute? So here we go. $5,081.12. The number did not change, so the budget amount for income stayed the same. The budget down here, what did happen? So let me zoom you guys in before I go any further, but you see these are my income. This is the expenses just for the Paycheck 2 time period. And we'll talk about what we did and what we need to adjust for. And so I'm going to zoom you in. Here we go. So being zoomed in, everything came through that I expected to come through. Nothing really changed. What came through today was the life insurance, $87.56. I can mark that out now. And now I need to fill in my spending category. So I can't do Paycheck 2 until I've done the weekly check-in. And so I just did the weekly check-in. And I'm kind of limited in space right now because my tripod broke. I mentioned this in my weekly check-in video. And so I'm using a different tripod system. So I can only move my paper so far up. But I will do the best I can. And let me see if I can get it a little further. There we go. So part of the paper is actually under my tripod I have in front of me here. So I can't move my paper, so I'll have to work around it. But I do have my figures and numbers, and hopefully I can still get to them. There we go. All right, so what I have here, grocery household, I did spend more than what was expected for grocery household for the paycheck period. If you watched my weekly check-in, you would see that. So we actually spent, and I need to total that up because I only have what I spent for the weeks. So I do know I spent in week 2 and 3, which is part of Paycheck 2. Week 2 was $240.45. And week 3 was $232.41. Oops, don't have you on screen. And that gives us $472.86. Now, I will warn you, I have not done these numbers ahead of time, so I might be a little hesitant as I'm doing it, going, I should have done that before. So I'm very sorry, I am not prepared today. I'm going to subtract this $393.90. And yes, okay, that number came out right. So if I use this number and then subtract it, this number would be a negative. And if you saw my weekly check-in, this is what it came out to be, negative $78.96. So I am accurate there. Whew, good news. All right. That is the only category I seem to be over budget in. I've got plenty of money in the other categories. I gave myself $446.61 for 2 weeks, week 2 and week 3 of my check-in. The first week we did $281.99 plus week 3, which was only $82. Oh shoot, I didn't do that right. $281.99. Oh, I'm making all kinds of mistakes. I am so sorry. Plus the $82 262,707 from last week. So we only did $364. Oh, see if I can get a 3 in there. 364.06. So negative plus the 44661, and that gives us 82.55, and that matches with the weekly check-in. You always want to make sure they balance when you're doing different systems like paycheck to paycheck, weekly check-in, monthly budget, things like that. Make sure you keep yourself in balance and your numbers come out right. My most accurate way of tracking grocery, household, restaurants, miscellaneous, and gasoline is not actually my weekly check-in or the calendar. It's a transaction log that I use. So I actually prefer that the most, but I don't really show that on my channel. So I'll be showing you that in just a few minutes. 425. Oh, that's not what I want. I need to see how much I actually spent for miscellaneous. So week 2 miscellaneous was $162. Nope, $69.15 plus the 108 from last week, and we only spent $277. I am so excited and so proud of us. We really have not been spending in this category very much, and I'm really thrilled that we're not. Extra savings, so that will be awesome. We still have $147.85 left over. That matches the weekly check-in. We're good there. And then gasoline. We didn't spend a lot in gasoline. $46.49. Yeah, just not going anywhere. So we had $158.47 minus the $46.49. And we ended with $111.98. That's where we are with the budget, and that matches my weekly check-in. So we are check and check. I am thrilled with that. All right, so now, do I have that top number on here? I do not. Let me see if I can get my paper to slide just a little bit out from under the tripod without moving everything. Okay. So now we need to total all these numbers up and see where we're at and subtract that from our income. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, so here's where we're at. We're at $3,969.09. I'm going to write that at the bottom. I know you can't see it, but I don't want to move this just yet. 96,909. Okay, so what we have here is all the bills. Nothing surprised us in the bills. Nothing changed in the bills. We were over in our grocery household, but we well compensated it for our not spending as much in these categories for spending categories. So it definitely took care of that. And then we had other things that we did. So we transferred $630.09 to our savings account. Part of this went to our emergency fund. You'll see in a sinking fund savings video. And then we decided out of the buffer, because we knew we had enough cash in our checking account based on this number and subtracting these numbers out, that we could afford, if we wanted to, a membership to the Living Museum here in Virginia. And my son really wants to go. So as soon as the rain finally quits, we might go over there, because he wants to do the outdoor side as well as the indoor side. So yeah, it's going to warm up a little bit more, like in the 50s, hopefully. And then, and quit raining long enough for us to go over there. So we have that set up. My husband bought a laptop. The Chromebook wasn't working well with his job. He has security websites that he has to go to, that he uses a special card. It's called a CAT card with a, what do they call it, a chip in it, and they're government sites. So he has to be able to get on, and he can't seem to do it from the Chromebook, and it doesn't work well with Chrome. So he needs a Windows laptop, and that's what we bought. And then I wanted to buy a chair for our front living room for some of the family members that come to our house from our church. They just had babies, and I'm kind of creating room area where they can go nurse their babies while we're doing home group meetings and stuff like that, and still be a part of the group, but if their baby's fussy or need changing or anything like that. So I bought a chair, and I also bought, or I have some stuff to kind of set up as a nursery area. So it's kind of cool. We're excited about that. And then we did get a subscription to HBO Max. The reason we got this subscription was because we know a lot of the new movies that are coming out, we're not going to movie theaters, but you can go to movie theater and social distance. My kids don't want to go and sit in a movie theater with a mask. They just, and you know, yeah, you can eat, but it's just not the same, and they're just not comfortable, and I don't blame them. So you can get new movie releases sooner or the same time it comes out on HBO Max. And that's why we got the subscription. So there's some movies that are coming out. I think the one that really kind of drew us in was the Tom and Jerry. We love family-friendly, cartoon, fun Lego movie, and Tom and Jerry and Scooby and all those movies. We loved Sonic, the movie. I mean, that's kind of, as a family, we love to watch together. So we went ahead and got that for family night. So now I can go ahead and take this bottom number, see if I can, again, show you the bottom. This bottom number and this top number, and give you what we need to find out what we have left. So I'm going to take this number, I'm going to make it negative. I'm going to hit the plus sign, make sure I do that because sometimes I forget and I screw it all up. $5,081.12. Okay, you know what? That's what my bank account looked like. This number matches my bank account and my checking account. Now, I do run these numbers based off of what's in my checking account. That's very important to me because my checking account is where everything happens. I'm going to sign the paper. There we go. So let's write this number down. And I want to keep these budgets in balance with, actual income, actual expenses. I mean, you see everything that we see that happens with our money. There's not much you don't see in my budgets. And eventually you do see it, and you'll see me make a payment on something and I'm like, oh yeah, I charged this or whatever. So yeah, that's what we're ending with Paycheck 2. So this gets me set up for Paycheck 3. So let's get that taken care of. So here's Paycheck 3. So I do know how much money is coming in. I have the pending deposit over here. This is why I like having, and that should be a 9 out of 8. That's why I have these budget sheets. I want to be able to set them up as things are happening and keep them moving and keeping things on track. So I'm going to balance forward. That $1,112.03. And then I'm going to put down, it's going to be under the budget column, but it's like I did last time because I've already seen how much the deposit's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and put the actual amount down. So this is salary, actually overtime and reimbursements. Anyways, the total for all that is going to be $2,804.19. So what's going to happen here, normally it's $533.15 less than that. That's what we normally get. So it's 2804.19 minus the 533.15. So normally a salary check would be $2,271.04. But he had 1 day of overtime, and anything he spent out to sea, he got reimbursed for. I won't know exactly what is what until the statement shows up tomorrow after he actually gets paid and we can get into the system to look at it for his pay statement, but that's what that is. So let's add these two numbers together. That'll give me an estimate budget for the start of Paycheck 3. So we have, from the 19th through the 28th, we have $3,000. $916.22. So now I gotta take and figure out what bills need to come out for that time period. So I'm gonna have to go back to my notebook here off to the side, and you're hearing me flipping through some pages here. Hopefully I still have, I don't think I do. No, I do not. So let me go to my monthly budget and look at my calendar here. And my calendar shows me that on the 19th, I have sinking funds. And I am budgeting, and I want to do something a little different because what I haven't tracked on my Paycheck too, even though it came out during that Paycheck period, still had a buffer kind of thing going on where I had enough in the checking account. I'm going to take what I originally planned for my sinking funds, which is $468.66, and I'm going to subtract $88. Now that $88 is actually Orkin. They came and sprayed the house, and things are looking good and took care of business. I'm only going to deposit $380.66 on tomorrow when the deposit makes it, and put it in my sinking fund, which is a separate savings account, because I don't want to move money back and forth. Because I had enough in the buffer and it covered the cost of the charge for Orkin, I didn't have to worry about what was in my checking account. I just let the charge go through, and then I decided, because it was so close to, we had it done on the 16th, and the 19th the cash was going to be deposited where I normally get my money for the sinking funds from. It was so close to that date, I didn't think transferring money back and forth from savings to checking and then back from checking to savings was necessary. So I can just deduct it from here, and we will go ahead and budget that amount as what we're going to do. Now I am going to track the 380.66 Orkin, and I'm going to put that actually right here. Oops. Because it happened in my checking account, so I need to account for it. So I'm going to put Orkin, and I'm going to put $88. And actually, So, and I actually spent $88 already. I haven't made this transfer yet, but I have already seen that come through my bank, so I'm not worried about that. So those two combined actually is what I normally would put in for sinking funds. And this way, the money's there. I don't have to do the transfer, so that's why I'm doing it that way. After that, we have Audible. I cannot spell today. I'm so sorry, guys. That's $14.95. Been getting a lot of good books off of there. iTunes, and that's $2.99 for storage on my phone. We have Tithe. We have Vivint, which is our home security system. I actually had somebody ask me about that, and I do like my home security system. And one of my past videos, I actually explained what all the costs were that was involved with Vivint, because I wanted to make sure they knew what the cost was. So there was that. So if you go back to one of my past videos and see a post on that, you can find out all that information. I'm not putting Visa down because I actually paid for my Visa out of my savings account when my husband got his Jeep lifted, and it was all on the same credit card when we did it, and I just paid it out of the savings, and it was not that big a deal. So I'm not going to put it here because we've already paid our Visa. It's not that big a deal, but I am going to put Sprint. I normally have a few transactions on my Visa that are subscriptions, just to keep it active, but because we did the Jeep lift and we didn't want to mess anything up, we put it on the credit card, and then a few days later, once everything cleared, we paid off the Visa, and that included a couple extra charges of those subscriptions too. $286.25. I'm seriously thinking of a new service for our Sprint phones. My husband wants a new phone, and we own all our phones, so I'm not sure what I want to do yet. We'll see. Verizon Fios. That's our internet. $82.71. And then every dollar, that is $10.59. And then city utilities. I cannot spell today. I'm so sorry, guys. And that's $100. So on the months, I do not actually have a bill come in. I pay city utilities $100. And then the months I do have a bill, I just pay whatever the bill is. And the average is about $200 every 2 months. So some months are a little lower, some are a little higher, and that's okay because that's our water, sewer, trash, recycling, yard waste pickup. And so as long as I know I'm close to $100 every month, I can always compensate for the overreach if there is one. But I like paying it monthly, and I don't know why they don't charge people monthly. It's ridiculous. Everything else is charged that way. So that is all I have for expenses. Now, spending categories. So grocery, household, restaurants. Oops, I'm running out of space. I'm gonna have to start moving up here. And I'll show a little bit of the bottom here. And then miscellaneous. Gasoline. So grocery household, I know I have budgeted for the last few days, the 19th through the 28th. Probably not enough for groceries, but we should be okay with the other categories because we have so much left over. $121.04. If you saw my closeout for my weekly check-in, this is where I'm getting my numbers from. Actually, I have the sheet just sitting right here. So my weekly check-in right here. This is where I'm getting my numbers from. That off to the side. Grocery household, that's what I budgeted for the last week. Paycheck 3. Restaurants, we have $207.55. And more than likely, I'll be borrowing out of these categories in order to cover any overreach for grocery household. Miscellaneous, definitely out of miscellaneous because I have $272.85. This is the lowest I have spent in a month on miscellaneous stuff. I'm just like, what is going on? This is awesome. And then gasoline, we're barely driving anyway. I do budget it high for the amount, $174.48. Before COVID happened, we were spending $250 a month on gasoline. So what I'm doing here is I'm still budgeting for that amount, knowing I'm not going to spend it all, and then putting it all, let's say, in savings at the end of the month, or using it for an unbudgeted thing that we may not realize we're going to need. So that is what happens with that. And sometimes it covers the overreach for grocery household and things like that. So yeah, I don't know if my husband will ever start driving again or if we'll start driving again, but we'll see. We're just not spending much on gas. Let's do the totals, and I will be right back. Okay, so what I have budgeted for our expenses is $2,108.53. Now I'm going to make that a negative. I'm going to add, and we're going to bring down this number. Sorry, a little wobbly here. We're going to add to $3,916.22. We have $1,800 left over at the end of the month. Wow. That's really awesome because I wasn't sure what it was going to be like at the end of the month. Let me get the bottom of the sheet back up. Oops, not too far up. There we go. 1,807.69. So this is my potential savings, or my income minus expenses. This is my potential savings for the end of the month of Paycheck 3. Now, you will see me later, and I'll just kind of write this down. Well, I won't write it right now, but When I make the decision that I'm comfortable and ready to transfer, I will put transfer to savings and the amount and the actuals over here. And I'm probably not going to zero this out, but I'm going to get close. You know, I'll leave a few $100s in there before the next paycheck. I don't have anything that I'm paying next, the first of next month, paycheck wise. But yeah, this is going to be a really good deposit, $1,800. My goal is $1,500 or just under $1,540 every month. But I know not every month I'll be able to do it. A minimum of $1,000 a month, which I've been able to do since December, which is awesome. So I can't wait to see what the savings looks like at the end of this month when I do my savings and sinking fund video. That's going to be awesome. So that's exciting news. Let me get my notebook together and I'm going to zoom you guys back out and I'll be right back. Okay, there we are. So this is paycheck 2 and I popped it out so you guys see it easier, and paycheck 3. So I close this one out. We're good to go. I don't really track on this side, but I like to see those numbers there. I don't really need to total them up, but other people do, so I kind of leave it so that if they wanted to, they could total it here. But yeah, these are my actuals. This is what's going on today, and this is what I predict for tomorrow because I can see the pending deposit and we're ready to go. So I counted for everything that already happened and is about to happen for this paycheck 3 and what I wanted to count in paycheck 3. That's the cool thing about these budget sheets. You can, even though I know this $88 kind of came out in this time of the month, but I know I wanted it counted here because of the sinking funds, transfer of money. It didn't matter if I put it over here or over there. It just, as long as you track it and make sure you have it, so when your total numbers work out, it matches your bank, then that's all that really matters. I did want to show you the best way I have found to track my 4 spending categories right here is transaction logs. I give myself a deposit and I use my weekly check-in to tell me how much I'm depositing for the first week, and then the second week, and then the third week, and then now we're at the 4th week. And each time I spend money, I write it out and it lowers the number, and then the new week starts fresh and I add more money, and then it brings it back up, and then I'll lower the number, and then a new week comes in and I add more money and it raises it back up and lowers again, and then I start fresh with a whole new month. This is how I stay within what I would need to stay in for my budgets. $1,000 for grocery household, $650 restaurants, $550 miscellaneous, and $250 gasoline. Those are the amounts I budget for, and this is the best way I found to do it. I like the calendar here for tracking, but I don't, that's not how my brain really works. I need to see the math happening and have it in a transaction log. So I love the transaction log. I actually only do this for the weekly check-in video. If not, I would just use my transaction logs. But most people don't really associate a weekly check-in with the transaction logs. They usually associate it with expense stickers and or expenses written out on the date and then checked off and then brought over here. So that's why I do it. I do it like everybody else does. And I'm cool with that. And my sheets are in the wrong place. So yeah, paycheck to paycheck budgeting turned out very well. I'm excited for the potential of how much we're going to save this month and show you all that at the end of the month and make that decision. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. And I cannot wait to get into the end of the month results and all the other stuff to see how we did this month, because that is exciting. So have an amazing and blessed day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.